Pond, and I have got some very old tackle today to use here on this pond, and it's got one of them swingy tips on it. I've actually got a bunch of swing tips here. I've got another rod here which is also a swing tip rod. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got swing tip attachment on the end guides. That's all I'm going to say. I know some of you are going to have designated swing tip rods, but these things, I think this one's from 70s, this one's more so from 80s, and I'm going to come and get on this little pond down here today and hopefully swing out some silver spherule. Now, this is a cheap tackle challenge. This stuff cost me, if I had to work it out, it'd be pence per item. So the rods came in a bulk, a bundle. I think I paid 30 quid for about 80 rods. Some of them weren't very good, some of them had bits missing, but I think out of 80 rods, I think I've managed to chuck together about 62 rods, 63 rods, and these are just two random ones out of it. So I'm going to jump on a peg down here today on this commercial and try the art of swing tip fishing in 2025 with some 1970s and 80s rods. The beauty of it is I'm using a trusty old Shakespeare box, all with tackle that I've found or that's come in bundles. Like, it's literally free stuff. It's really cheap stuff, and luckily it's what they would have used back in the day. So join me today on this, well, it's a commercial, but I'm going to be targeting silvers in this lake, where I'm going to hopefully winkle out a few for you guys. So let's get down up peg. I'm going to get down here, get set up, and talk you through how I'm going to approach winkling out some of these fish. Oh, nearly died. Oh, bang on. Now we are on peg 28 here on Reed Allcroft. It is a commercial, but this particular pond is full of silvers. Might / should be perfect for what we're going to do today. I can't stress it enough. This is very, very old tackle. It's way out of date, and that's what's going to make it a little bit more interesting. This little corner tends to do quite well, just like dropping in for a few bits, a few silvers. I've actually had some decent chub out of here before. So I'm going to get set up and talk you through how I'm going to approach these silvers on the old swing tip. Now, when you get to Hallcroft, and like most commercials, you have to dip your net. There's a net dip as you come in, so never forget, dip your net. I chuck mine up roof at car and then drive here, or you can chuck it back in your kit. It's entirely up to you. But what I'm going to do now is just going to get set up. Now I'm using stuff that came for free, or that's old, or that's no good to somebody, or that's been donated, that might never come back off now. And the beauty of it is, this is the sort of tackle you can pick up for next to nothing or free. There's been some occasions on Facebook where people have contacted me, or I've gone through Marketplace and seen like a bundle for like £20 because someone has no idea what it is. But landing net and head, that'll go over there. I've got here an Octoplus feeder arm, because on this box, on the Shakespeare box, it's got the Octoplus system on it. So, perfect. I'm going to chuck that on there. So I've got an Octoplus Pro rest here, an original. I'm going to screw that on there. That's going to be the rod rest of choice. So that's going to go on that front leg there. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Could do with a butt rest. We've got a butt rest. What's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, butt rest. Well, can I use both? Shall I use both? If I put that on there, like that. Well, it's like Lego, isn't it? What's this? Will that go on there? Oh, what about that one in there? And this. What do you reckon? So that's actually going to go on. Where shall I have it? Front one? Yeah, front one. That's going to go on here like so. And that is pretty much it for the hardware side of things. So box, feeder arm, butt rest, trays. I'll get some bait sorted in a second. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk you through the tackle. So rods, the 2 random reels that I've got a massive container at home that's full of reels. And when I come and do these cheap rod, cheap tackle challenge situations like I am today, what I do is I just go in the container, pick out 2 random ones, and I always fill them with some fresh Flayden £6 line in this case, because you don't need to go any bigger on here. But Flayden, it's budget line, £5 for about 80 miles of it, and you get loads, and it's quite good stuff. Like, it lasts, and for a cheap tackle challenge where I'm not using pro gear, it's absolutely ample. Don't need to use anything bigger or anything more expensive. So let's talk you through the rods. Right, so rods. The first one is this little tiny 7-footer. If it's got no markings, no branding on it, anything. So if any of you recognise that sort of livery on this rod, it's like a really soft cork handle, some little alloy reel collars on there. That's the front guide, like nylon filled. If any of you recognise that, drop it in comments, let me know what brand it is, because there's absolutely nothing on there, and I've got a couple of these and they've all got the branding missing. So that's the butt section. This is the top section, exactly the same sort of livery, same whipping on guides, just steel guides up until top one, which is a nylon guide, and then it's got I've put in a screw in quiver tip, just a little quiver tip like that. I've got some spring tips, not going to be using those today, just going to be sticking with the old swing tip, just to see if we can create some humour. Second rod. Now, some of you will have seen me use this. I stumbled across a little river near my house a few days ago and found some massive chub, and I went to go and have a dip in it with some maggots, and the big chub, I literally watched them swim out under the bridge and upstream to where it were like 8 inches deep, and the fish, the backs are out at water constantly, and that tells me they're not interested in what I'm doing. I think I went in a bit too loud. Anyway, waffling. This is a Kelglass rods R&I Stammers Stockport. So I think back in the day a lot of rods were actually not custom made, like personalised, but they were made to order, probably to save down on materials, cut costs, who knows. But this is the second one. I've not put a tip in it yet, but a lovely rod, nice whipping on guides. It's actually got, I think it's probably had a repair on that guide and then something done here. It looks like probably a rod repair there, but we're going to use it today here on this commercial. Nice cork handle, alloy guides again, collars. I'm going to screw a swing tip in this, might even screw a spring tip in this one, and it's quite sturdy. If we do look into anything decent, skimmers or even a bonus carp, hopefully it'll hold on. But that's the second rod of choice, and yeah, probably from early 80s. I mean, this thing is probably from late 70s, early 80s as well. So really old, throwaway stuff, don't use it again. And I brought it to a commercial to show you guys some swing tip fishing. So the reels, I've got an Abu Cardinal Max and a Zebco Quantum SX. Little tiny thing, that one. Lovely little reel. Yeah, very old, cost next to nothing. I think I've always had that, I'm not sure. That were about £4 off eBay, and yeah, simples. And a tube of spring tips and just a few random swing tips in there, just in case I fancy chopping and changing. I need one for the second rod anyway. Right, so that is pretty much me ready to go. My maggots, just to show you how much of a budget I run on when I try and show you these sessions. My maggots, some of them are alive, some are dead. They've been in freezer. I've had them for about a week. I've actually got some pinkies with me that I've had, I think we're coming up to 5th week now. Unbelievable. And they were from North Notts Angling. They were incredible stuff. So in the little tiny rod, I've got a simple running feeder down to a Preston stop. And then I've got a 50cm hook length down to 0.13 with a barbless Camazon size 18 on. Very simple. This feeder is out of a bag I found about 500 feeders at Artill and other surrounding reservoirs when they've been drained over the last few years. Just a little tiny feeder and the swing tip on the top. The second rod, what I've done with the second rod is exactly the same, except I've got a wire cage on, again, running down to a stop. You're not allowed to have bolt rigs here. Same up length, same line, but on this one I've actually got a spring tip. So if I put that out there, hopefully you can see it. If I slacken that off, the tip actually goes parallel with the rod. So it's a spring tip. So just a different visual for you, but we'll talk about that if we come to use it. So that is both rods. I want to start off on the small one. So I'm going to fish very negative. I want to start off with a double white maggot. It's actually very chilly now as I'm talking. Double white maggot on the hook. Don't think he wants to wriggle. Not fussed if some of these are dead, to be fair, because it's a nice change bait. Which, just if you've got a pint of maggots at home that needs using up, what can you do with it? Let's go and have a budget day's fishing like that idiot does on YouTube. So, plugging my feeder. I'm going to put in just a few loose offerings to start with. I'm just going to have a few 10-minute casts. There we go. So I've got my bucket next to me. Hook bait on. Swing tip ready. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to clip up on the first cast. I'm not going to get too technical here today. I'm going to clip up on the first cast. Back wind on. What's going on? Oh, there we go. So, just at right hand side of that feature out there. There we go. Nice and short. Tighten down a bit, and then I'll talk you through how to reset a swing tip. I want to make sure that line clip's easy to get to as well. So rod down onto your butt rest. I'm going to tighten down to it just so my swing tip, it just takes up a bit of tension and starts to lift up like that, because my indication on my swing tip is going to be that movement there. I don't want my swing tip pointing at the fish. I also don't want it to be slack like that. That's perfect. So I don't need to move it, don't need to change anything. That's exactly how I want it. And it's perfect for fishing for small fish that are just going to give little finicky bites but don't want to pull against the stiff rod like this. You've got to remember, back in the day, these were quite a taunt rod to be using, and very sensitive quiver tips had not really come out yet. So I'm going to leave that feeder over that spot, and then what I'll do is every 5 or so minutes I'll chuck back in over at the same spot until I start getting some indications, or if I get any fish or a bite or whatever. Oh, little tiny indication then. So a little tiny flick at quiver, and the weight of it, it's not heavy, but the weight of it will actually help keep that tension on any bites that I do get. Oh, there we go. Small fish, very small fish. Little tiny roach. There we go. So the swing tip just started to flick away like that. No tension on the rod at all. And first fish is a little tiny commercial fishery roach. I'll pop him back in there. This time I'm going to go double red. Plug my feeder, a few loose offerings, and cap it off. There we have it. So now I'm going to be casting to clip. There we go. I need to make sure that I come back and not make sure there's too much slack line, because I need to be able to make sure that quiver tip is functional. So down on my rest, up onto my butt rest, tighten up just so that swing tip just starts to lift up from water surface like that. You don't want it too slack, but you also don't want it too taunt either. Otherwise you'll not see soft indications from small fish. Exciting though, isn't it? Swing tip fishing on a commercial? I don't know. Does anyone do it? Is it still a thing? Fish topping over my spot. Just let me know in comments if it's something that you, any of you still do, swing tip fishing. Oh, missed that one. Not a very good bite. And then back on the spot. Oh, this reel. It's a bit past its time. Again, tighten up. Just take the slack up. Just so that swing tip's just lifting up away from water surface. Like that. Oh, there's a bite. Pretty much straight away, that one. There's a lot of fish in here, so I've got to take into account liners and fish swimming past and what have you, so. But it's also a very busy pond here on this commercial, this one. There's a lot of fish in it and a massive variety as well. Oh, indication then. Little tiny jab forward. Might be small fish on that. Oh, and it is. Absolutely banged it round, that one did. There we go, what we got. Oh, and he's off. And again, it's like messy fishing this, which is quite enjoyable. Oh. Not going to clip. Seemed like it was going a bit past it, that one, that time. So down onto butt rest. Yeah, very convenient fishing this. It's a bit clumsy, a bit bulky. It's very outdated, but it also makes for quite an enjoyable morning's fishing, doesn't it? Just different. It's not something you see every day. Watching us, there we go, a little bite then. Watching a swing tip in the morning is definitely very different to my usual. Oh, is that on? Oh, that's on. Oh, small fish again. That's all we're after though. What we got, what we got, what we got. Oh, here we go. This is what we're after. I mean, I'm after anything, but always warm. Little tiny swing tip skimmer for you all. Absolutely golden. Where are you hooked? Right at bottom lip. Beautiful. Little tiny commercial swing tip skimmer on the feeder. So let's dunk him back in. Maggots are still alright. So plug it. A few mags. And then top it. That's it. So double white. There we go. Oh. That will proper week one, day one fishing that way then. The idea is now just to start getting regular feed going in and you know, probably try and get a shoal of these skimmers move over. And if we do, that'll be like a massive benefit, because then we can sit fishing this simple, we can just sit and catch these probably one after another. And that's the beauty of it. All the big expensive stuff nowadays, it kind of doesn't take the fun away from it, but it does take away that chase, it does take away the challenge. Modern tackle nowadays and modern approaches, you're kind of not really fishing anymore, you're just hooking them. But this, it's like, you know, you've got a lot of working parts between you and what's going off out there, and it makes it that little bit more challenging. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. It's off. So why not get on the swing tip? This seat box cost me, I went to local tip, and near me they do, they've got like a shop at the tip now. So anything that's worth recycling and selling on, they'll sell it. money goes to like local charities and stuff. It's really good. Oh, that was too close. And this seat box was there with loads of gear, and I mean loads. And I said, how much for fishing stuff? And she just looked out the window and said, is it the blue box and all the bags? And I said, yeah. And she went, just give me £5. I bet there were 30 quid's worth of shots in this box, in a tackle box, in another box, loads of stuff. There were reels, in old all, 7 or 8 rods, a couple of poles, whip, brolly. Oh my God, it was so packed. And there were a 2 carry-alls, just full of gear, lots of clothing, a nice Halcon Hunt jacket. Oh, absolutely made up with it. And so this is what I do. I tend to use old gear that's cost next to nothing. And it sounds like we're an absolute bargain. That was a good bargain. I landed on it well that day. But I go through Marketplace quite a lot. Most of the time people message me and offer to give me some tackle to use on channel. But sometimes I'll be flicking through Marketplace, looking at tackle anyway, and random stuff will pop up. And I have been and fetched like bundles for free, where people have, like, it's been left out family by someone that's passed away, or they've had it for years in garage. Or I had one woman who was selling about 15 or 16 rods, and ad just said £10, and all it said was fishing rods. That's all it said. So I messaged her, and she was in Nottingham, and I said, how much is it for all the rods? Is it £10? Expecting her to come back with, no, they're £10 each. And she said, yes, I'm in until 4 o'clock if you want to come and fetch them now. So off I went, bought all the rods for a tenner, and one of those particular rods costs, I've said this before on my channel, it costs more than, well, it's not an expensive car, but it costs more than the car I drive. There we go. Oh no, that's not on. That was wrapping around that one then. I reckon that were a big liner. A big Carolina. My line clip has just randomly come off again. What's going on? The clip's just doing what it wants. There we go. There, look, there's a bite. Is that on? That's on. Oh, better fish. Oh yes. Quality this. What we got? Little skimmer. It is a little skimmer. Oh, lovely. Another little tiny Swingtip skimmer. Don't get any better than that, does it? Beautiful. So, I'm slipping back in. That's what we want. Plenty of them. A bit old school in it, this. This time I'm going to go with a red and a white. Oh, nice. Bail arm not click back over on its own. It has to have some assistance. And on to rest. Tighten up. And we're fishing again. Simple as that. That's all it takes, people. Nice and easy. If we do hook into any carp, I'm not afraid. Hopefully I can get the clip off quick enough. We should be alright. We'll see. Those ones that were down to my right hand side when I first started, they put the nerves in me a bit, but whilst they're down here, those ones aren't out there. I know there's millions more out there, but those ones aren't out there. Little tiny indication there. Another one. I think what I'm finding is getting these little indications, and that fish tries to tug off. It's got the weight of the swing tip holding back on it then. Oh, oh! Oh, it's on. I thought I just pulled out of it then. Oh, it's going under the tree. Oh no, not under there. Oh wow, it's gone under the tree. What is this? What we got? Got to be a little carp or something, hasn't it? What have we got? Oh, this is exciting. Oh, it's not big, whatever he is, but don't think it's a skimmer. Oh, what have we got? This little carp, little common. Come on, you. Oh, well, this is just lovely. Oh, and we've got him. Where are you? That's gone round there, that's gone there. Into his top lip, or what's left of it anyway. Oh, mate, you're a funny mouth. Oh, there we go. Lovely little common carp on the Swingtip rod. I think it's an 80s one, early 80s or late 70s, but just goes to show that you can still bag up on modern fish with vintage or at least retro tactics. So let's slip this guy back and get another one. I mean, I've come for skimmers, mate, but I'm not moaning. You are a bonus fish, I guess. Dunk you back down here. There you go. Nice. I think I've just hit a carp. Scooping him back in as well. So yeah, do not mind hooking those carp that size. It's when they're like £20 on old gear, that's when I start getting a bit nervous. What was that on red and white, weren't it? Look at that with red and white. Quite a nice contrast, that, isn't it? Red and white maggot. Oh, a bit too much to the right. But hey, we've not come here to make it easy. We've come here to make it simple. I don't know why, but this cloth is already soaking wet. Might have to get another one out at the car in a minute. But I mean, yeah, no stopwatch. It's not really required when you're doing this sort of fishing because you're kind of just getting bites pretty much straight away. Oh, there's a knock right on cue. Like I say, hopefully I've got plenty of skimmers down there, a few roach. I don't mind odd carp turning up, even bigger than that one we've just had. I think that's going to be fish on. Yep. Another skimmer, I'm hoping. It is. I'll swing him up. Will he let me? Oh, he will. Only just. Oh my god. Another little skimmer. You are a stunning fish. There we go. Slip him back in. Clutch on this reel's got like 2 clicks and then it's on. 2 clicks and then it's off. No in between. There we go. That's right on the spot, that one. Right, back onto rest. And again, this is it, people. Just a nice, simple setup. Easy days fishing. I've already got a fish on. Already in. Unbelievable. Another little skimmer, I'm guessing. Don't feel a bad fish. You know, we're not going to swing him. There we go. I might have to take some of his handle off as well because it's a bit long. And again, bagging up on skimmers, aren't we? Absolutely scale perfect, that thing. There is not a thing out of line on that fish. Absolutely stunning. I reckon he's not long since recently gone in. Beautiful fish, that. Oh, he's squawking at me. But another commercial skimmer on swing tip tactics. What I'm going to do soon is I'm going to have a few more chucks on this, and I want to chuck out the other rod. I'm going to aim not for the margin, but towards that marginal area to my right hand side soon. But he'll do, won't he? Nice. Right, we're obviously catching fish on that short line to that feature over there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chuck this out. I'm actually going to chuck to left at feature and then further out into the open water. I've not baited up. I promise on my life I've not. I'm just going to go through the rhythm and go from there. I am not overfeeding at all. I'm going to chuck out with some bait on, see if there's any fish there that I can just snatch one. And if I bring one in, I've got then some feed there for some fish to move over. I was going to chuck in that margin over there, but there's a snag over there. It must be off this tree at some point when it's gone in, so I'm not going to risk it. So I'm going to use the Kel Glass Rods R&I Stammer. Pretty much same setup, just with a bit bigger feeder, a bit heavier just to get me out that little bit further. And this one's got the spring tip on it. So a little bit different, but at the same time quite similar. This one, I'm not so much looking for a swing tip lifting up like that. I'm watching for it just breaking free and like that. A bit like a quiver, but the whole tip will move on a hinge as opposed to curling round. I've clipped up already, so I'm just going to cast straight out to clip. My marker is the corner of that island over there. There we go. That's down. And then my spring tip. I think a bit of line, there's a toe on anyway, so my line's already under. Back onto my rest. And my spring tip is perfect how it is. So all I'm doing now is waiting for an indication of the tip, the entire tip bending round with the rod. I'm not putting in hours and hours of prep work before filming, 10 minutes of filming. For you guys to think, oh, I'm going to go and do that. That's not how it works. It don't work like that in the real world, I'm afraid, people. Oh, there we go. And we're in. So that spring tip just started flicking round. And then we're into one. Not sure what it is. This is quite a stern rod to fish with. Oh, I think it's a nice skimmer. So it is quite a stern rod to fish with, so any fish that do feel decent on this, they're probably going to be. That's it. What we got? Oh, it is a little skimmer. Lovely. Oh, look at him. Not baited up, not nothing. Just straight out. Has he unhooked himself? He has. Nice little skimmer. First cast on that rod. No baiting up. First cast. Straight out there into open water. And that's what we've ended up with on the spring tip. So slipping back in. And hopefully there's a few more of those shoaled up out there. And what I'll do is I'll not get too preoccupied with one particular swim. I'm going to keep swapping and changing between the two because I want the feed to be going in. Very slow on that line out there. Not much indication at all, so I'm going to come back in and have a few chucks back on this short line. So again, we're white and red maggot, what seems to be working. And then feed it. Oh, up my bucket. Not going to put any loose in this time, just do ground bait mix again. And just see if that's what we need. Sort of between casts, or between fish, just do odd one or two chucks where we don't put any maggots in. Perfect. Down on the rest. Proper old school fishing this. There we go. And just wait for an indication, as simple as that. Now there's plenty of different varieties of swing tip rod. Oh, that was a nice positive bite. So if you've got a swing tip rod in mind that you used to use. It's a lot different to this. I know there's some quite modern swing tips out there. I've got them as well. So at some point I'll come and do like a modern swing tip session. We got another skimmer. Yeah, but this one, it's just to display like a very old rod that's free tackle, gifted, ready for throwing away, that you can still turn up to venues like this commercial and bag up on skimmers on really old gear. It might be outdated, but it doesn't mean it can be outperformed by modern standards of tackle. And I'm a massive believer in getting out there and using second-hand tackle. Oh, fish on. No indication. I think that's going to be one of them fish that's just been hanging on. And like I say, just still carried on grazing whilst he was hooked. Very common that, especially with skimmers. But yeah, another little skimmer. There we go. Small indication that time. Only a small fish, but this is what we're after. What I keep telling you, we're after small ones. Oh, what we got? Oh, there's a lovely roach. Oof. He's had some hammer, he has, bloody hell. Wow, he's got like a massive growth on him underneath. Don't really want to show him you. Yeah, little roach, we've got a massive growth underneath him there. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch it up a little bit and try and draw in some bigger fish. And how do you plan on doing that here, you say? Well, quite easy. I've got my ground bait, far too much. I'm going to be using some of this later on somewhere else and tomorrow. But I've got a tin of trusty sweet corn. Now, plenty of carp in here, plenty of skimmers. I am after the small stuff. I just want to show you sort of indications on tip and how a swing tip works. I know you all know. Spring tip, that's going a bit slow. But I'm going to put in a little bit of corn in the hope that there we are. And that can sit on my side tray as hook bait. Let's get rid of that. That's milk bait. So inside here, it's just going to be a mixture of a ground bait mix and just a few bits of corn. And what I'll do is I'll start and slowly trickle corn in. And if we can get some more bonus skimmers, that'll be ideal. Even if we get a couple of angry carp come along, I think corn is going to be the turning point for us. So let's get back out. I might even try a bit of corn on hook as well, and just see if we can spur on some better fish that way. Kind of a one fish wonder on that one, but I'll see ya. You never know. But the cheap old swing tip tackle challenge seems to be doing quite well. I had a bit of a break early talking to somebody, so I turned the camera off just in case anything sensitive got said. And oh, boom, fish on. And I had 5 or 6 fish talking to him. Here we go. What we got? What we got? What we got? Another skimmer. Oh, back wine's on. There we go. Just randomly started back winding. There we go. Look at that. stunning. These fish are scale perfect. I reckon these have recently been stocked in here because there's so many of them. I've had loads there, but about 15, and this is where I've come for as well. But they are scale perfect and they're so new and fresh. I mean, they might have grown on in here, but they're not like any skimmers I've had out of here recently, in numbers that I've had today. So let's get him back. There we go. So red and white maggot on hook, nice and simple. Tiny feeder, bit of corn and ground bait in there, and that is it. That's as simple as it gets. Just casting out to the right hand side of that feature over there that you can see. Back onto rest. Let that line sink whilst constantly watching. Oh, my swing tip. There we go. Fish on again. Then we're in. This rod is brilliant. Absolutely fantastic little rod. I don't even know what brand it is. It's about 800 years old. But it's still catching what your average £200 to £300 rod can get you today off its shelf in tackle shop. And it is just an old swing tip rod and an old reel that I got off eBay for about £4. But this is what we've come for. And you guys can get out there and bag up on tackle like this as well. Meaning he is a great fish to end on. So I'm going to slip him back and then I'm going to conclude today's session on the cheap old swing tip challenge for you today here on this commercial fishery. So how do we conclude today's session here on a modern commercial fishery using tackle from the 70s and 80s? Swing tip, spring tip. I know we've not done much with spring tip, but that swim over there a bit dead. This rod is a bit long for chucking short, and we'll just come back and do another video on spring tip fishing. But the Kell glass rods, R&I, Stammers, Stockport with the Abu Garcia Cardinal, beautiful setup, really well balanced. It's a rod that I think I'll use on river a little bit more when I get the chance. But the star of the show today has been this thing. Absolutely no idea of the brand. It's clearly a glass rod. The reel cost me, I think, £4 off eBay. A little tiny Zebco Quantum reel, little aluminium spool, and all I've been doing is I've been fishing free running traditional feeder setup down to a 50cm hook length with just maggots, red and white. It's been the bait of choice, but it's meant that I can display to you guys some swing tip fishing with this little bit here. And all you need to do is just have it slack enough that it can register bites, but also tight enough that you can register a drop back from any fish as well. And some of you will have been swing tip fishing for many years, more years than I've ever done it. This is probably the third time in my entire life I've done it. Yeah, get in comments, let me know, is this a rod that you'd predominantly put with swing tip fishing? I think short range on commercials, a nice short rod with a swing tip in it is perfection, like it really is. But long swing tip rods, you know, would you need a long swing tip rod, or does it matter? Does it depend on what you're fishing for? Get in comments, let me know, talk away, and we'll have to come back at some point, do some more swing tip fishing, probably for some different species, maybe some carp. So that is pretty much it from me and these two old vintage rods here on this commercial, bagging up on skimmers, a few roach. We've had a carp as well, remember? Nice little common. Just goes to show that no matter how old the tackle, how cheap it is, it's completely free in some cases. I mean, this costs next to nothing. That you can still have a bit of fun, get out there and bag up on somebody else's junk, shall we say. So I'll leave the session there. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, it's completely free of charge, and that way any future content I post, you guys will be the first to be notified. And lastly, I know I say it on every video, comments. Get in comments, talk away, Give me a swing tip story, give me a spring tip story. What's a good swing tip rod? What's a good swing tip setup? Talk me through it. And although I'm pretty much got my wits about me, I'll come down one day and I'll put one of your descriptions through practice down here at Allcroft, or even at a big reservoir somewhere. Be nice to go and do some swing tip fishing, some big bream somewhere, won't it? And then let's rest at tackle. A Shakespeare tackle box that cost me next to nothing, just random bits or accessories that I've managed to make a rod rest out of. Some maggots that have seen better days, half a tin of corn, and that's pretty much it. And just a very simple day's fishing, just up to that feature in front of me out here on peg 28, and that's what's done the business. So yeah, if you want to get yourself out and enjoy an enjoyable day's fishing, don't think you've got to go and spend hundreds and thousands on tackle. Get yourself a marketplace, good at car boot, pick up some free crap from somewhere and get yourself out and just try and normalise having fun with outdated tackle, because it still provides a great day's fishing. So that is it from me. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.